Hello.
We got a little German techno today. It's German hour.
Oh, ja, ja, oh, wunderbar.
Das Deutschland. All right. Let's get this started.
Hello, hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the Jab. This is my co-host, Mr. J. I'm the Brian. And we are here to talk about some topics tonight. Normally, we just kind of throw the topics as we go, but we're going to be looking at a couple things. I'm going to start off with a little bit of a rant here in a minute. We're going to about the prices that are affecting all of us, including you, the viewer, regarding auto dealerships, and also going to talk about. Immigrants getting on planes without ID, and talk about furries are back. We're going to talk about furries again. They're gonna
Furries.
we're gonna have to get a furry mascot, man. That's I think what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna
Oh
have to
yeah,
get somebody to dress up like a furry and come on and just dance for us the whole time.
that'd be neat. That'd be good. We'll look
Anybody
at
out
that
there?
in our 2024.
Any of our people watching out there, if any of you are furries, oh sorry, anthropomorphs, any of you are, and you want to be featured on here as a guest on here, and we'll go live. You can go live. We'll put you up here for a segment, and you can do the whole thing in full anthro. I mean, that'd be great. We'd love to interview you. Get in touch with one of
That'd be
us.
awesome.
That would be so great. We've been getting a lot of good response. I've been getting more followers lately. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of people popping on. Um, yeah, the let's get started here. I want to thank obviously our sponsor, Flipping Good Sauces, Fire
Flipping good
47
sauce.
dealership. We all love it over here. I just had some delicious pizza last night. I love taking. I love toppings. I'm a toppings person. Don't know about you, but I'm not really a cheese pizza kind of. I'll eat cheese pizza, but I'm not going to go order a cheese pizza. I get my toppings. Yet I do have a thing from when I used to work in my restaurant that you take cheese pizza and then you do ranch over it, right? And then you take the flipping good hot sauce and you dab that over it. The fire sauce, the ranch on the cheese pizza makes this flavor. And one of the people that started following us that I know from work, she's got a profile on here. I'm not gonna call her out by name without permission, but she had tried my sauce and the same thing. She told me the same thing. She's like, ranch in that sauce on cheese pizza. Oh my god! And yeah, it is. It's an experience. All
Awesome.
right.
Awesome.
So yeah. You got anything to add before we get started here?
No, no, not at all. You
All
go
right.
ahead. You start your thing first.
That's our show. All right, everybody, have a good night.
That later. Bye.
Yes. Yeah. So okay. So recently, my car needed a sticker, and and I came around the corner. I came around the corner in a snowstorm, and I kind of hit a pothole and bounced a little bit, and the car did a little jerky thing. And then down the highway, I feel like I'm pulling a boat, and I have a sedan. I have an all-wheel drive sedan, and I feel like and then the car is pulling right, and I notice my steering wheel is a little cocked. So I'm like, I did something. I did something in the front end. So I get an appointment at the dealership. I go to and I set it all up for the appointment, and they tell me, "Yep, we're gonna take it in. We're gonna do this. You have a recall. We're gonna, all this stuff." I'm like, "Great, do all, let's get it all. I need an oil change. Let's do it." And I don't normally bring it to the dealership, but I was like, it's a Mercedes. Anybody didn't know out there, so I'm like, I'm gonna have them do it, and loaner and all this stuff. Well, I come back a week later to drop it off. I hadn't been driving it. And I'm like, I drove it up there, drop it off. I go in there, I'm like, yeah, this is going to take about 30 minutes and we'll let you know what's wrong with it. I'm like, well, what about a loaner? And like, oh, we don't do loaners for oil changes. I'm like, well, you got a recall. Oh, there's no recall on it. We, you just
Wait,
told me
what?
I'm like, I got a letter in the mail about 6 months ago for a brake booster. Oh, that's general thing. It's not to your car. Well, why was my VIN number on there? Well, yeah, but that model doesn't have a brake booster issue. I can show you right now. I'm like, fine, but why did they agree and put me under the recall for it? Oh, I don't know why, but it's not part of it. I'm like, well, I got to head to work. I'm like, I need the loaner, and the guy started getting like a little testy with me. And I'm like, no, I'm like, you told me this. We're not doing this. I'm like, the amount of money you're about to charge me, I can't even imagine. He's like, oh, well, calm down. We'll take care of it. I'm like, calm down. I wasn't getting heated. I was just kind of like getting stern, like, you said this.
Yeah.
So he comes back, gives me a loaner. He's like, you take it, you need it. It's $3 a day. That's the dealership for you. They charge you $3 a day for a loaner. I'm like, whatever, that's cool. Of course, they put me in a brand new top of the line C300 4MATIC hybrid. It's a $68,000 Mercedes, right?
Mm,
I had to figure out.
nice.
I had to figure out how to. I had to figure out how to drive it because it's all touchscreen, and it's to the point I couldn't put the rear defrost on. But all you do is go, "Hey Mercedes," and it says, "What can I do for you?" And it say, "Put on the rear defroster," and it says, "Rear heater on." Change your radio station to channel 8 or 107.5. Changing radio station. It's got its own intelligence in it, so that's kind of cool.
Oh no.
The lighting, the lighting in there, you can adjust the color spectrum, 256 colors of all your lights in your car, and you can make it actually rotate lights. You can change your whole heads-up display to different styles, different modes. Sport mode shows you your G forces. The seats got built in.
It's just a car.
This is why they're
It's just
70
a
grand.
car.
70 grand, man. This is why.
Oh,
It's got kinetic build-ins in the seat. So when you're driving, so your legs don't fall asleep, your back, it's got light adjustment movements while you're driving, and it doesn't program for so long. It's got the cameras of the 360 view. You're backing up, it looks like you're watching HD TV. The display screen, the display screen.
no, that is too much.
The display screen in the middle is two of these combined, basically, and then your driving is another one of those in the front. So it's crazy. But I'm like, the car driving in the snowstorm can take a corner at like 60. It's unbelievable. The car is amazing. I do love it. I'm like, if I had the money to go buy a new one and I needed a new one, I would probably buy this car. I'm really impressed by it. But that's beside the point. Okay. So let's get away from the Mercedes. Okay. So I get an estimate the next day in. They call me at work, like, oh, did you see the estimate? I'm like, no, I don't check my email at work every 2 minutes. I go in the estimate, right? Like, or I'm like, I'm about to pull it up. The guy goes, yeah. He goes, I don't think the car is worth saving. He goes, we're coming back at $9,600 worth of work. He goes, and that's not including the body work. I'm like, for what? I'm like, did I damage the engine? Whatever. Send me the list. You ready for the list? The fuel line has some corrosion on the connection going into the tank. Not at the tank, but the upturn to the tank. So it needs fuel line, right? $1,500.
What?
Rear brake line has some corrosion at the corner. May break at some point. I replaced one last year. It cost me $100, including the tools. $1,400 for the brake line. My driver's seat has a rip in it. $800 for the driver's seat rip repair at the seam. My father owns an upholstery shop. I can buy a brand new replacement seat, the whole seat, airbags all, bolted in and plug it in for $500 shipped. But it's $800. It's $800 to fix the seat rip for a sticker. I don't understand.
No.
Transmission flush. They recommend doing that. $800 to empty the transmission, flush it out, and put new fluid in it. No service, just filter in fluid change, which is pointless. I have no transmission issues. I have no engine issues. The rear subframe rotted off, but that's under warranty still because that's a lifetime warranty. So he said they can replace that. Apparently, and then he tells me that the reason the front end's acting up is because of the subframe, but the document says the subframe's in the back. Can't figure that one out. Then he tells me that the rear suspension's not even attached to the car anymore. I'm like, what? I look at, and they send you pictures. They take pictures of everything in the document, which is cool, showing you what the issues are. I look at it. It's still attached. It's rusted the connection. It might need a new joint connection. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, really? I'm like, what they want for the rear suspension is $1,600. Then the steering wheel locking mechanism is a little sticky, so they want to replace that. That's $600. That's a box. I saw the video online how to do that. I'm not even touching it, but I don't need it. I'm like looking through this whole list. Wow! Yeah. So I'm looking through, right? There's a thing that's leaking a little bit of oil on my exhaust behind the motor. It's a shield thing, $200 to replace. I'm like, that's the one I actually care about. I'm like, that one I want you to do, So I'm like, okay, there's that. I need 2 tires in the back. They're just this close to being not passable. I actually think other garages would pass it. So now I'm trying to call back. And the guy's like, yeah, you got to bring the loaner back and all this. I'm like, Well, no, no. I'm like, you just give me.
Mm,
He's like, well, he's like, the car's not worth it. Because even if you put 10,000 in this car, you might get a year or two out of it. The motor is fine, the transmission is fine, and everything else is fine on it. And you didn't, besides the subframe being broken, that's replaced under warranty. I don't know why you're having it. I don't really know where all the other questions are coming in. So I'm like, this is just stupid.
yeah.
So
Can
basically,
we
you're
say
just
they're
gonna.
trying to stiff you?
Well, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is why dealerships are having troubles. No one's going to get their work done unless they're rich or forced to at these places. And
Oh yeah.
on top of that, this is why the car prices are going up. I know there's chip shortages and imports and all this, but when you're charging this stuff, I don't get it. I do not understand. I basically went back through it. I can repair, and I know not everybody can, but I can basically do about $300 to $400 worth of repairs. Do most of this myself in one day, and then I'm going to bring it to
Yeah.
my local garage with two new tires to throw in the back for about $200. They wanted 500, so tire rack. Throw those on there and get a sticker. I'm probably gonna be in under $1,000 to get my car back on the road completely. And I'm like, and they wanted 10. It's not normally the dealership. You need $1,000. They're gonna be 2,500. You're like, what's the dealership? They're gonna do it all for me. It's gonna be done. Fine. No. Why? And what are they trying to do? Are they trying to force me to go? Hey, here's a brand new loaner, and you need 10 grand. Your car's junk. Come buy a new car. I'm not dropping 70 grand on a
Yeah.
car. I I
This is what
I
they want you to do.
I would go buy land. I would start a business. I would if I had 70 grand laying around to screw off on a car. That what? I mean, my car is 13 years old. I mean, you saw my car. It looks
Yeah.
decent. 13 years old, 170,000 miles on it. For a Mercedes, that's nothing. They're now trying to push the whole like Chevy experience on the imports like that because they're trying to everybody always knew like you go buy a BMW, Mercedes, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna put some money into it, but the car you got 20 years, you got 300,000 miles. Now they're starting to do
Oh
the whole
yeah.
like, well, you broke 150,000, so the car's kind of junk now. It's like no, it's
No.
it's
Yeah.
it's
That's
not a
what they.
Ford or a Chevy.
No.
So
It's all about money. It's a money making thing.
So that's my rant on that. Just very frustrating. And of course, I call back today because he says the service advisor tells me we're not going to be. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. So just come drop off the loaner and you can figure out what you're doing with your car. And I'm like, I'll call you in the morning because I want the subframe done. And he's like, that's fine. Just call another person. I get an answering person. They don't know who I am. They asked if I have a car there after I told them you're working on my car. And then I looked up my account, found my car, and then they're like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, your service advisor is not in until tomorrow, so I'll have them give you a call back. I'm like, well, no, I was supposed to call today to get that service started. Oh, well, I'll put a message into the other service buyers and they'll call you right back. That was 4 hours ago. So I'm going to keep this
Yeah.
loaner as long as I can because they're not doing anything, and that's not my fault. I'll
No.
spend three
They're
bucks a
not
day to
doing their
drive this
job.
car. No, no, and it's terrible, and it's really sad because out of all the dealerships, the Mercedes dealership in the past has always been one of those ones. It's pricey, but you go in, they got Starbucks coffee or they got like pastries and everything's free, and they come over to you and they're like, how can I help you? Here's your loaner, here's this, we'll clean your car. They always go above and beyond because of the cost of the cars. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
You go to a Ferrari dealership, they'll bring the espresso out to you when you're looking at the car. I mean, it's just because you're going to spend a lot of they, seriously, like Lamborghini dealership apparently will give you a full shoulder massage while you're talking to discuss because that's just the level. You're going to drop 200K,
Yeah.
300, 400K. They're going to help you out. So, but yeah,
They, there's.
just
Damn.
stupid. So on
Damn.
that note, we're in about 10 minutes here, 15. So I'm trading
Yep.
it over to
15
you.
minutes. All
So
right. So we're going to talk about the TSA under this new Biden law is allowing migrants to board planes with no ID. Now, this is what they're doing. Okay, so when I first looked into it, I thought this was like something brand new. Brand new.
yeah.
Well, after doing some digging, a Texas congressman apparently was writing about it back in 2022. Um, he was writing about it in support of the Crime Doesn't Fly Act, where he says last week, this is about January 2022, the TSA confirmed that they've allowed illegal immigrants to use their arrest warrants as valid proofs of ID to board flights into the United States for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the TSA, between January and October of 2021, over 44,000 illegal aliens arrest warrants were used as valid ID to get onto planes. Now, anybody who flies knows that the law is you need a passport, you need your ID, you need some sort of legal identification to be able to board a plane.
Right.
Well, now they have this app. These illegal immigrants are using this app by that's made by the Customs and Border Protection, and um, they're it's basically they can go on, they show the TSA agent this app, and it allows them. You basically tell them that you're a migrant,
Yep.
and they take your information. They don't have to. You do not have to agree to a valid ID or a picture. They don't have to take your picture, and you can just follow the officer, and they board you. They tell you can board the plane. Now, with this same exact app, you can turn around and also get, before boarding, you can get paperwork sent to you by the government stating that you're allowed to get on these planes without valid ID.
Hmm.
And this has apparently been going on throughout the entire Biden administration. According to the Center for Immigration Studies, the Biden administration has flown about 221,456 illegal immigrants all over the country in just 2023 alone. Just 2023 alone. And they're they're just allowed to do it. And to make matters even worse, we've, we're just allowing them to come through under Biden's laws. It's allowed. They no longer need to have legal documents stating that they can just fly wherever they want to in the United States.
Yeah. See, and I don't, and it's so crazy to me because you'd think with like after post 9/11 when it comes to like a lot of these what do you call that? Like the NSA and whatever, and Patriot Act, all that stuff. It's really interesting to me because I know there's got to be a mechanism to move people like that around. I get that, and
Hmm.
we don't have high speed rail because that would be a solution, a safer solution to do that. You're not going to hijack or do anything bad on a high. I mean, there's not much you can do. Um, but I really just like don't understand. I guess I just don't understand the purpose of that amount going around. And also, like, where are they bringing them? Is it to bring them to sanctuary cities or bring them to services? Is it purely like government backed to go, all right, we need to get you over to here. We're not going to pay for a van to drive you. So we know who you are because we have that documentation. I still think
Hmm.
I know the TSA. I know like they might be like, well, it's not a picture ID and all this. The government knows who they're throwing on the plane. They do because you notice
Yeah, they do.
anytime anyone's ever gotten on a plane that has some kind of situation, they get arrested. I mean, the planes are pretty watched now. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
so let's say the government in the background's going, oh yeah, you don't really know who this is, but we know who this is. Let them on the plane. We're going to reimburse you. We're covering it. So they probably have a reimbursement program. I'm sure the airline puts it into the government, gets 4 times the seat cost. So the airline's like,
Right.
sure,
Right.
hell
Right.
yeah, hop on, and then
There's yeah, there's money coming somewhere.
right, exactly, because they wouldn't just you got to figure the emissions and all that. I mean, groups would be a lot more in arms about this because I mean the amount of and the fact that plane seat shortages half the time at certain places because they obviously would be going to popular cities. You're not sending somebody out to the middle of Kansas. I mean, I would imagine these are people going to L.A. and Miami, wherever they're heading.
Well, from some places, it's like New York is one of the places, but
Yeah,
there's apparently these shelters in sanctuary cities in like Arizona and Nevada that a lot of the illegal immigrants are being bussed up to from the southern border or from California.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
Ron DeSantis was on the other night uh, talking about the whole, how he sent immigrants up to what was it, Martha's Vineyard. right? Or
Yep.
Nantucket or
Yep.
something, wherever. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard, I think it
Martha's
is.
Vineyard. I
Yeah, yeah.
remember it's Martha's
So,
Vineyard. Yep.
right, and I mean, he can argue all he wants. It was political stuff. I get his point because he said they were open, saying they were a group there. I guess was saying that they are sanctuary. They're part of the sanctuary group or whatever. They're okay with it. He
Hmm.
said, "Fine, then you take them. Here you go." And he paid to send them up there, and a lot of people like you took taxpayer money to mail them all the way up there or ship them all the way up there in a sense to go to a place that and he came back saying based off the per capita up there and the amount of land per person and all that they should easily be able to handle that. What was it, 80 people, whatever it was a small
Yeah, it was
amount,
like 70 something people.
right? He's
It
like, they
wasn't
have
many. It
money.
was like 70 people.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what the current thing is, but last I heard, a lot of them are still there. They found house something was done to take care of it because I don't think Rhode Island and all
Yes,
that.
some of them found housing, but a lot of them were shipped like up here.
Right, and they were still sent to the Northeast, but they were
Yeah.
taken care of. And I get his point because then let's go to the conservative view here. He's saying, "Hey, you're saying we're all equal and doing this as a country and we're all in this together." They didn't have any. I just sent a small amount to them. They have money to provide, so they're helping out too. Thank you. We don't have time. We don't have the money in Florida. We have our own problems. They don't have homeless problems in that area. We do. And I'm like, I get what they're saying. I totally understand. I'm not saying I agree with it. I understand where he's coming from, though. And I mean, that's where going over
Right.
the aisle a little bit goes, okay, I get it. But it just interests me because, like, but deep down, that's just a political stunt. Because why not just send them to Hawaii then? Because
Well, yeah,
Hawaii's better equipped.
that's because he was running for president, which of course he's bowed out now.
And just to not go sidetracked, but to go at, I hate this. I hate there's no integrity. Even when you get behind somebody, I wouldn't vote for him over Biden. Honestly, I just wouldn't. I'm not going to vote that way. But if it was him or Trump, I would vote for him over Trump because he's more. He can. I feel he's better equipped to do the job. I don't agree with what he wants to do, but I feel like he could handle situations better. So if there was some kind of big conflict or something, I'd take his leadership over Trump. And
Oh
for
yeah.
him to bash Trump nonstop, Trump to bash him, and then all of a sudden he gives up. He goes, "Yep, I'm totally getting behind Donald Trump." Dude, no integrity, no integrity whatsoever. I'm not saying
No, he
stay
was
vote
jumping on the
against Trump.
bus.
No, don't sit there and go, "Well, I'm out of the race. Vote for Biden." I get you're not going to do that with your party. Don't say that. You know what? Just say, "I'm not going to say who I'm going to vote for." Everybody go out and vote. Leave it at that. Tuck your tail and walk. Don't be a complete you know, cuck at that point, basically, and to Donald Trump. And that's what the problem is. And that's another reason your viewer the other day asking why I'd have with Trump. It's the people behind him. They just lick the boots. They really do. You want to go after
Yeah.
the woke people saying, oh, the woke people are always with the government. No, this is the crap we talk about. We will go out and protest. I'm not saying I'm woke, but I mean, liberals will go protest. These conservatives will just bow down to things they blatantly said they are against.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand it. I don't understand it one bit. You know what? If anything, he should have gotten behind Nikki Haley. She's more in line
Yeah,
with
but
him than Trump.
true, that's true. But I don't see that happening because
No,
I see more people bashing Nikki Haley because of, well, they say she's got flip flop syndrome, but
you know what? She's more classic Republican. That's the problem. She's more in the middle of the road.
yeah.
And, so they bash her. She's too liberal. Have you seen her policies? She's too liberal? Are you serious? She has like she has like one quasi moderate policy, I think, to do with like the economy. Like, I mean, things that never used to have sides. It was the economy was the
Oh,
economy.
oh. Learn more about the U.S. elections just popped up on my screen.
Yeah, bachelor's degree in political science here, but yes, I will learn more about U.S. elections. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely, definitely.
I will get right on that. Yeah,
Let's
so
hop on that one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wasn't. Oh, wait. Ready? Here we go. Breaking news: ex-Trump aide Peter Navarro gets 4 months in prison for Capitol riot investigation. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. But
You know
it
what?
doesn't
You
say.
know what? Hold on. That deserves something.
And again, this ain't a side issue. It's breaking the law, prosecuting doing due diligence, taking care of problems. This is the issue.
Exactly.
You,
Exactly.
you guys go after Hunter Biden all the time and all that, and I agree. There's whatever's going on there and Biden and all that. Great, go after that. Totally prosecute. Do it right. Have your evidence. This is so much evidence that these people are just getting convicted left and right and sentenced to jail without appeals being pulled. And it's conservative judges that Trump put in, some of them are actually convicting because they're like, well, there's so much evidence. I can't say no.
Yeah. Right. But we got
Moving on.
about yeah we if we want to keep this under a half an hour, we got about 5 minutes left.
I started thinking about the 45-minute format because I was thinking, no, I really did 15 minutes because we tried the hour that went over. Half hour was tight. I'm like, you know what, 45 minutes. We're right on cue to move on
Yep.
to subject 3.
Yep. Subject number 3: Oklahoma bill calls for animal control on furries. Now,
Boo.
yeah, that's what I said.
This is
Under
stupid.
Oklahoma House Bill number 3084, students who purport to be an imaginary animal, commonly referred to as furries, shall not be allowed to participate in school activities or curriculum. Now, the state representative Humphreys, his last name, said that his reasoning behind it was that this kind of behavior severely distracts to other students' education. Humphrey admitted, though, that House Bill 3084 was to make people of Oklahoma aware of the practices being held on school property. The bill states that students who show up in their persona are to be picked up by their parents, guardian, or animal control. Representative Humphrey claims that furries being picked up by animal control was meant to be sarcastic and that social media blew it out of proportion because they don't understand the process of how a bill works.
Oh yeah,
Now, Representative Rosecrans said that the furries bill is nothing more than pandering during an election year. It
yeah.
purports to fix a problem that was never a problem, according to him. Now, Representative Rosencrantz is only a Rosecrantz. My bad. Rosecrantz is only afraid that his bill, the OK House Bill 30. No, he's. I'm sorry. I'm not even following my own fucking thing here. Representative Rosecrans is afraid that the bill, an OK House Bill 3133, labeling illegal immigrants of Hispanic origin who are gang members terrorists, that these two bills may slip through the cracks because it's an election year. And he's more worried about trying to pass a bill that would allow 30-minute recesses in all schools throughout Oklahoma.
Which should be.
Honestly, I mean, okay, I can understand maybe like a 30-minute reprieve for like middle school and high school, but as far as recess,
Well, yeah,
eh.
but recess is a term because have you ever seen the Michael Moore documentary about schools in Europe?
Okay, yep, I was
Okay,
talking about.
so their high school students get like an hour lunch recess break, basically, or something like that, right? Even high school, it's not that they're
Hmm.
going on a playground, but they're allowed to walk around campus and do whatever they want for an hour because you need a break. You work a job, you get. I mean, I work 8 hours, I get two 15 minutes and a half-hour lunch, and the 15s are paid. High school students, I mean, I'm sorry. Oh, here's to 18 minutes. Wait in line for your food. Sit down quick. Eat. Oh, you can go back to class. You were there.
Yeah,
It
yep.
sucked. It sucked. If you get working, and we would get study halls, which basically you wouldn't do anything. It would be kind of our recess. But they don't really get that halftime anymore. I mean, seriously, imagine
No,
back in high school if we were given a full hour and you could wander around the gym or you could go do something or whatever.
a
I
lot of us would get into too much trouble. A lot of us would get into too much trouble.
I, and that's the culture. But I know that's the side point of this. The thing is, though, is when it comes to the thing, why put a bill forward about the furry thing? Make a public service announcement. Put it out that you have a campaign about you have an issue with this. You want to bring attention to it. That's how you do that. Get up on your soapbox. You don't screw up legislation, wasting time on crap.
Yeah, a problem that's not a problem.
And we all know how a bill works. You want something done for your company, you go find a congressman, you give them a ton of money, and they make it happen for you. That's how bills work in this
Yeah, it's
country.
how bills work.
The
Exactly.
lobbyists write bills generally, So I mean,
Yeah.
this is
He
so
who
true. Like,
hath the money can pass the bill.
and you want to get to the animal control officer thing? I know that's supposedly a joke. All right, so all of a sudden, you put a tuxedo on a dog. Do you have the cops come show up to take it out of the store? It's not animal control. It's identifying as a human. I mean, and that's school
It's
policy. That's school policy. Enforce it. The schools have to enforce. They're not allowed to wear these outfits. Don't
yeah,
make a
yeah.
don't make a law for the. That's a school. That's a DOE. That's an internal policy decision. That has nothing to do with anything else. And uniform rules can easily circumvent saying, yeah, you could wear this, but you can't wear a hat. You can't wear whatever. That's fine. You know, I'm totally fine with them blocking that kind of stuff. There's security risk at that point with full personas. Who knows what's in there?
Well, yeah, true. That's
I mean,
true.
I don't
I
have a
agree with
problem
that.
blocking that, but at the same time, like I don't know, it just
Well, and to go back with this whole this is where we're at today you when you have schools who allow children to identify as something other than human.
yeah,
the
I
whole the whole animal thing where I mean in some schools where they allow people to identify as cats as long as they're not disrupting the class or to identify as dogs and they come in and dress up as cats and dogs,
yeah.
not
See, what?
furries.
No, no,
I'm
no.
talking like tail, ears, makeup,
What's crazy is when we were
collar.
we had people in high school that kind of acted a little bit like that and may have had those thoughts that like I feel alien, I feel different, I feel whatever, and would dress accordingly or be a little eccentric about it. And it's like that's fine
the
as
one
long as
the
they're
one
still
kid that used to walk around with vampire fangs.
yes, great, good for you, as long as you're not affecting anybody else and we're not doing any special things for you compared to the other people because of what you're doing
Exactly.
with that. Now, that's my issue with it. If somebody wants to show up and pretend they're a cat and act like a cat as long as they're not being disruptive, but believe they're a cat inside, and they're following the dress code, they're following the rules, and they're not getting any special treatment outside of normal people, I don't care. You want to pretend you're a cat in your head? Great, you're a cat. Good for you. You know what? Say I'm a cat. I might even call you a cat. It'd be funny. I don't care if people are petting you. I don't care. I don't care if you want to like pretend to eat like a cat. It's when you're suddenly needing the litter box or you're needing to go outside
or
more or have
or
walk
you're
around on a
sitting up on the
car with
teacher's desk or
yeah without a
yeah
choke situation about it
yeah
like
acting like a cat.
and this is a prime example. Give them an inch, they'll take what is it? Give them an inch, they'll become your ruler.
Ninja. Yeah, give him an inch and they'll walk all over you.
Right, because what happens is society's been doing this. We've seen this in our lifetimes. You get personal freedoms, which there weren't enough in some cases, and there was discrimination and whatnot, and that's great to
Mm-hmm.
get those. But once you get some of it, it's a taste of the drug. It feels good because it's a human right, and you should get this stuff. But then you want more. Then you want more, and we can't draw a line because once you draw a line, you now have this whole segregation, discrimination, whatever issue that well, this you can't have any more further rights than this. Well, I just want this because I feel this way, and everybody goes, all right, well, we'll just. And next thing you know, you're up
Yeah,
here, and
no.
everybody can do whatever they want. But the problem is you can't have a society that everybody can do what they want. Then you have anarchy and chaos,
Yeah, no, you can't. It's not
and that's
okay.
why the government's not effective now. Because nobody believes in the government, nobody cares about the government. Everybody breaks rules all the time because they're in chaos mode now.
Right. This final year, I see 2024 being the worst year we've ever had yet.
Yep, and
Because
they're going to continue in
The
chaos.
Biden administration is going to do whatever they can to just, and people are going to do whatever they can to screw everything else up that's going on. And yeah,
And both sides have pandered to their base so much, the far sides of their base, that you now have this massive stretch. It's not the old school. When you go back to George Bush Senior levels and all that, and Clinton even, if somebody came up and said we need this ability to identify, they would come back saying, you can do that, but you're not getting anything else special. We'll recognize you, but that's it. Call it good. Right in
yeah,
the middle, going, you know what? We still have to operate as a country. We still have to do this. Now it's, all right, well, whatever you guys want.
yep. No, we've become a pander. We have pandered to too much in society. That's all we're doing.
Right.
We're giving them what they want.
and it's so hard because it's not fair to like trans people. It's not fair. It's not fair to LGBTQ. A lot of them in general, because a lot of them
Right.
have struggled for so long and do need more rights and stuff. And we're getting there. We definitely have made progress. A lot of people come back that Nikki Haley. That's one thing, and that really shot her down, saying we've never been a racist country. And uh,
Yeah. What? Excuse me.
open a history book, okay?
Yeah.
Talk to somebody 100 years old. I mean, no, we still are kind of racist. I mean, there's still a lot going on. Have we made progress? And then you got the other side. You got the woke liberals that go, we're still exactly as racist as we were from the slavery days. No, no, we're not. There are people like that, but there has been
I
progress.
know.
Again,
I know, and
measure
that's
the
horrible.
metrics, and that's the problem because normally in educated society, we would look at a situation and go, okay, we were here, we got into here, we still have progress, we still have a long way to go, but we've done this, so great, let's keep going. Companies do that. Companies grow, people grow, individuals grow. This country now is going, we're here. The other side goes, nope, we're here.
There's
No,
no in between anymore.
no,
No.
it's either all or nothing. At each
There's no
side,
common ground. Yep.
allow every single immigrant, no matter what, in the country and give them anything, or don't allow a single person in, no matter what. You
Why can't
can't
we
run a
just go back
country
to the
either
way it
way,
was?
right? And
Why
then
can't we just go back to the way it was, where we'd let them in, we'd go through the paperwork, be like, okay, you can become a legal citizen. Here you go.
right,
What happened to that?
right, and
Now we're just letting them through.
because you have a systematic problem, and rather than trying to, they all argue over how to fix the problem, so they throw the system out or they put the system in worse. It's either build the wall or take down the border, and there's no in between where anybody sits there and goes, all right, listen, our system sucks right now. So let's
Yes.
design a new system that does allow qualified people in and has a vetting process and is expedited in cases. You have children, you have no violent history, let's expedite you. You are a doctor. We need doctors. You are well educated. You already have income. You already can purchase this real estate. You're all vetted. You have no criminal history. You passed everything else. You speak the language, you're good, let's go. You're coming in, you're part of a drug cartel. You were in prison for this many years. You failed your urine test. No, not well, let's give you 6 more months. That's the problem. It's like it's vetting, and it's the same with everything in our society. We can't seem to do this. We can't seem to go. We're sitting there, we start making a sword, we sharpen it, and we're like, it's not sharp enough. It's not sharp enough. Well, either throw it out or go
And
get
start
some.
over again.
Yeah, and start over, and that's what they want to do. They're like, well, we can't use it anymore. We'll keep working on it. Nope, make a brand new one or don't use it at all.
No.
Keep
We,
working
we
on it. The Constitution
yeah.
has been worked on till now. That's why it has worked. Now we don't. When's the last amendment? Amendments are wrong now. There's been minor ones in the not too long ago in a sense,
Yeah, I
but
think it's been a while. I think it's been a while.
and it's usually word changes that are to do with dumb things, honesty. And I know we don't want to touch Second Amendment and all that, but it's like, society, I'm not getting into that, but society needs to, there's a reason there's so many amendments over the years, because society gets to these points and go, all right, we got to fix this, screw this. So they change things. We don't do that anymore. We just argue about it. And we're like, well, I won, it's my way now. No, I won, it's my way.
Yeah, no, that's usually how it is now.
It's playground mentality and it's tribalism. And that's the downfall of
Let's
our
all go back to
world.
elementary school, kids.
Really,
Elementary school rules.
read up about Rome. Richard used to say all the time about all his knowledge of Rome. He goes, we're like 30 years out from where Rome was. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. Now we're 20 years into that. And I'm like, yep, I
Yeah.
see Rome. I see Rome. I'm like, hopefully, it's going to become
Yep.
Italy, and we'll get some good food. But, you know,
Yes. It's all about the good food.
I mean, everybody models themselves after looking like Italian, media girls. I mean, I just, I don't know, that whole Mediterranean look and diet and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It is crazy.
Screw the diet. I'm just going to eat.
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, and it just yeah. This is where we are, everybody.
Let's. Well, I mean, we almost made it through January. We almost made it through because this is the last show for January. Next, because next Thursday's February 1st.
Oh wow. And
Yeah.
that means, does that mean, is Valentine's Day a show?
It, I, I would have to go consult the wall calendar that's on the other side of this wall.
Well, I have I have a calendar. I have a calendar right in front of me here. If I can figure out where the calendar went, because I have my kid's iPad I'm screwing around with, and he moves his apps every single day for some odd reason. I don't know why.
Because it's fun to do, Dad.
There we go. Calendar. Let's see. February. Oh, 14th is on a Wednesday. So, yeah. So we'll be our show 3 weeks from now will be the day after Valentine's Day. So we'll have a Valentine's Day special the day after. Um,
A day after Valentine's Day special.
yeah, the aftermath. The
The
yeah.
aftermath. We'll talk about how many murders there has been, how many
How many credit cards got maxed out for no reason in the middle of February, and
how many people were on Ashley Madison.
how many November birthdays there will be that following year?
Ah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Me and the missus, we don't do a lot of Valentine's Day. We're just talking about this at work. We, I get her a card. I usually grab flowers, something. I used to make dinner. We used to years ago, like we'd go out or something. It's overrated at that point. I mean, it's a commercial holiday. We don't do anything too
Yeah,
crazy. I'm like,
it's not like it used to be.
no, because I think it's different. I think when you have a girl, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost one of my earbuds. My
I was
my
gonna say I can hear you.
Yeah, one of my earpods just in my ear went like doo 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 doo, like died.
That's what that was.
Yo, you heard that?
No, I just heard a, and then the sound changed.
So now I got to charge the case to charge the earpod. So
Razor.
yeah, I like these though because I will charge the case fully, and I will be able to recharge these things in the case like 8 times. So I charge the case like once a month.
Oh yeah, the ones I
It's
used to
amazing how
have.
long those things last.
I had a pair of $5 ones that I got from. I think I got it from a Walgreens. It lasted almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. See, the only problem with a lot of those, they don't fit my ears. I have small ear holes. Even these
Wow.
AirPods are like tight, and I hate it. I wish they came in different sizes. But like some of those, like the Beats ones, I'm like, ripping my ear canal apart trying to put those things in, and I'm like, dude, how big are your ears? The people designing these things.
Yeah, these are razors and they fit pretty well.
Yeah, and they always have the little cups to change a lot of them. You notice that,
Hmm.
but I put it in the smallest cup, and it's like it goes in, and it like I don't know. I'm like, I hate
Nah.
these. These are the first ones I got these as a Christmas gift, I think, or birthday gift. I can't remember what Jessica got them for me for, but I'd asked. I just wanted a pair of AirPods. I didn't want anything like crazy. She got me like at the time the top of the line ones. These are like the $250 ones when they came out, and I was like, wow, like
Nice.
great. And I never used them, and I tried them out. I'm like, okay, and like a good month went by, and all of a sudden like I realized like I'm at the in the night on my game or something, or I'm like watching, Instagram reels, and I pop them in while she's sleeping, and I'm like, I can hear everything. And then of course, we get the TV in the bedroom that I can connect the Bluetooth to the TV. So
Nice.
I watch movies at night while she's sleeping, and I got these in, and it's quiet in the room because the light doesn't bother her. And I'm like, I watch all my shows at night after she goes to bed. It's quiet as can be. I'm not waking anybody up because I always have to crank it because I don't know about you, but in modern TVs, constantly the volume
The
you,
constant
you
up and down,
and
in
you
and
keep
out.
turning it up, turning it up, turning it up. And next thing you know, you're at 40 something, and all of a sudden a commercial comes on. And you're like, oh, whoa, and dynamic sound doesn't
No.
work and whatever. So, but these work great. It keeps it nice and level. So, yeah, I
Well,
use
and
these things
then
all the time.
no, it with mine. It depends on like what app I'm using, depending on what type of movie it is. I've always got to turn it up or turn it down. Sometimes it's too loud. Sometimes it's got this ear piercing whine in the background. You can't handle it. Now,
Right,
yeah, I'm getting old.
let's see where we
But
at. Let's see if I can get this back on here. All right, tell me something.
the
Oh,
sky is cheese.
there we go. Cool. We are back. I'm back with the AirPods. That's great. Well, that's
There we
basically
go.
that's the end of our
Well,
show here. We've hit 45 minutes exactly.
nice.
I
So there
think
we go.
yeah, so I feel that's a good format so far. We got 15-minute shots, and it gives us a little banter time in between and intro and out. And we actually I have a record for viewers today. I don't know about you. Um,
No, no, no. I mean, I got a record for likes. I got 281 likes during the show, but that's about it.
it's weird. I don't see that stuff. I don't know. I've got I don't know if I'm getting likes or anything, or if you are, or how that works. But
I,
10,000
I'm
members
not.
now. Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, so a little different here. Um, anyways, all right. Well, let's wrap this up and we'll cut this in post production for the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
But
So,
thank you.
thank you.
And anything to close on, Mr. J?
Well, no, I hope everybody has a good weekend. As far as on my channel, I'll be doing the True Duet weekends. I do every weekend. And then this guy just does whatever.
Yeah, I'm off saving the world. I mean, what can I say?
Oh, yeah. Off saving the world, one bottle of sauce at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Help, helping people get the medications in my downtime. Um, all right, everybody. Well, we're done with our old man bantering here, and we'll
Yep,
update this
yep. We're
now.
done with our old man bantering. You have a good one.
You too. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Later.